Tarun Tejpal publicly shouted from the rooftop against sexual harassment and privately dash and morally suspect behavior dash the same roof. Madam, this question is given in the workbook. Given answer is E. Unable to understand the usage of word cater in the sentence. Please explain, ma'am. Okay. One of the strategies for fill in the blanks is we keep saying look at words in and around the blank. Why? Because it will help us identify collocations, right? So having said that, I'm looking at it. I have the same roof for the second blank and then I have in as a preposition, right? So if I look at my options, which is the words that go in collocation with what we've highlighted? The collocation is indulged in and under the same roof. That's your collocation. Option B is the one correct. I think it should be a typo definitely in the workbook if the answer is E. It cannot be E. Under the same roof, meaning what? So what they're saying is this person, he is saying one thing but his actions are contradicting what he's saying. He's shouting, on one end he's shouting against sexual harassment and all that. But at the same time, he is also indulging in something that is under suspicion. His behavior is under suspicion, under the same roof. So it's more like an irony, right? But in terms of collocation, it's indulged in and under the same roof. The option is B. So if it is reflecting as E, it is incorrect. Okay, let's see. Maybe we can take one more question. Indulge means to be involved, right? So in the context, the more appropriate word is he's involved in, on one hand he's saying, hey, sexual harassment, very wrong, should not be doing this, we have to take action against whoever is indulging in this, blah, blah, blah. And at the same time, he is indulged in morally suspect behavior. He himself under the same roof, meaning in one place itself, he is doing contradictory actions. That's what the context is saying.
Pick out the most effective pair of words from the given pair of words to make the sentence or sentences meaningfully complete. Great. So you see that there's a sentence there. There are various options and we have to find the correct answer. It is dash that the administrative affairs of Indian cricket should continue to be dash in controversy in the midst of a packed and interesting home season. You're welcome, Ankit. I'm glad you got the concept, the question. Let's try and solve this question now, guys. Let's read the sentence again. It is dash that the administrative affairs of Indian cricket should continue to be dash in the controversy in the midst of a packed and interesting home season. Now, let's see what the words actually mean. There are various words in this. The option number 1 says disconcerting and embroiled. The word disconcerting means when you're uneasy with something. When you're uneasy with something, when you're not happy with something, you're not happy with the state of affairs. And embroiled means when you get caught up, when something gets caught up in a midst of a series of events or an incident, you say embroiled. Next, demeaning and enrolled. The word demeaning means when you do not show enough respect to somebody, when you actually show disrespect, when you disrespect something or somebody, that is demeaning. And enroll is when you participate, when you become a part of something. See, derogatory. Derogatory again means something that is not respectable, which is disrespectful. That is what is derogatory. And the word ensure means when we make sure. Ensure means to make sure. Part D, despicable. Despicable means hatred. When you have a lot of hatred towards anything. And the word intimidated means when you're frightened of something, when you're in awe of something. The fifth option, demanding, we all know what the word demanding means and we also know what the word invited means. Two words very commonly used in colloquial English. Yes, the answer is A. Let's read. The answer is A, disconcerting and embroiled. Let's look at why. It is disconcerting, uneasy. As fans, it hurts us. It is disconcerting that the administrative affairs of Indian cricket should continue to be embroiled, caught up in controversy in the midst of a packed and interesting home season. Therefore, the answer is A. Great going, guys. Let's look at it's a fill in the blank, 2 fill in the blanks. Let's look at it. We set out half an hour earlier so that we dash get good dash in the theatre. We set out half an hour earlier so that we dash get good dash in the theatre. Anyone would like to try what the answer to this is? Answer is 2. Yes, the answer here is we set out half an hour earlier so that we may get good seats in the theatre. Great. Now the next question that is going to arise in your heads is as to what Manas has also asked us here, that what is the difference between may and might? We know that both of them are modals, both of them are used when we express a case of possibility. But however, there is a certain difference between the two which we shall now discuss. Okay, now may. May is used when there is a higher possibility of an action happening. Let us say, remember, one of the most common ways we have all used the word may in school is, ma'am, please may I come in. Now, this is the possibility of an action of you coming into class. May, by the way, is also used to ask permission. So may is used when there is a possibility of an action. The possibility of an action in this case is much more, it is larger, it is much more than it is in the case of might. Might, there is lesser possibility of an action happening, and may, there is larger possibility. Now, let me draw out some more differences for you. Actually, one major difference. Might is usually used in a hypothetical situation. In a situation that is not there, the situation may happen and you might have to do something in that situation. It is in that case that might is used. Let me give you an example. I asked my friend if I was thinking if I should ask my friend so that he might be interested to watch a film. I was thinking if I should ask my friend if he might be interested. Now, if you notice, in the former part of the sentence, there is already a conditional if. So only if this happens is there a possibility of the second thing happening. Therefore, the degree of possibility reduces. This is a hypothetical situation. Even the situation of you asking your friend for the movie hasn't arisen. If you ask your friend, then he might be interested. Therefore, it is in such cases that we use might when the situation is hypothetical, the situation is not there. Therefore, in that case, there is lesser possibility of the action happening. Whereas may is used in cases where there is larger possibility of the action happening. So I hope the difference between may and might is clear to most of you. Okay, so the answer here is 2. Yes, we set out half an hour early so that we may get good seats in the theatre.
The water transport project in the West Coast is dashed to get a shot in the arm with a new plan in which the Road Development Corporation will build the infrastructure and dash a private party to operate the service. So we have 5 options here. So Kalpana says, ma'am, can you please explain how slated or allow becomes the right option? Okay, so let's look at it, right? We don't have to give me the answer, right? But because she's already mentioned this is the answer, and her question is, why is that the answer? So what you need to keep in mind for fill in the blanks is to always look at words in and around the blank, right? That's the first thing we do because we're looking for collocations. So the water transport project on the West Coast is scheduled to get a shot in the arm. Yes. So let's eliminate wrong options first. Can we use elimination method, quickly narrow down our options? So I can't use verge, right? Because is on the verge of getting a shot, right? If I have to use verge, I'll have to change the entire construction. So eliminate B. Is set to get a shot in the arm with a new plan, blah blah blah, will build the infrastructure and sanctions a private party. Second word is incorrect. Eliminate option C, right? We'll see. We still haven't narrowed our options, Sagar. The last one. The Water transport, then we have D, which is the answer. Then we have E. The water transport project on the west coast is bound to get a shot in the arm and task a private party. Again, incorrect, right? This is a noun. I need a verb here. So I can eliminate option E. So I have to choose between A and D, right? Now if you ask me for the first blank, scheduled and slated are almost the same. It's the same meaning, right? Slated means, what is the meaning of slated? To schedule, right? Or designate. So both mean the same. The water transport project on the west coast is slated to get a shot, which means it's scheduled or it's designated, or the water transport project on the west coast is scheduled to get, both are the same. So which means we need to understand and look only at the second blank and see which is the most effective word. Is it let or allow? Right? Now that we've narrowed down our option, let's look at it closely. Will build the infrastructure and dash a private party to operate the service. Now if I have to use let and let a private party operate the service. If I have to use allow a private party to operate the service. Now can somebody quickly point out what is the difference in these two sentences? Let and allow. Basically both let and allow is what? It's the same meaning, right? You're giving someone permission to do something. Let and allow both mean you're giving permission for someone to do something. But in terms of sentence construction, can somebody quickly point out the difference in these two sentences that I've written? No, just answer the question. We will get to the answer. In terms of, yes, thank you, Arpita and Anubha, right? So if you notice, I have to operate the infinitive form, but here I don't have to. Usually when it comes to sentence construction, right, when you have let, it's not usually followed by an infinitive form, but allow is always followed by an infinitive form, right? So in terms of sentence construction, you will pick option D.